in this crazy year and season. My name's Kay Adams. Welcome to our breakfast table. Nate Burleson, Peter Schrager, Kyle Brandt, all here to eat, Kyle.
Highlights for breakfast. Order up. Ding. Let's go to Las Vegas, where sometimes you eat breakfast before you go to bed. Patrick Mahomes has one interception on the season coming in. That's against the Raiders. He threw another one last night. Only two all year, both against the Silver and Black, jumping right to the fourth quarter. 21-17 Kansas City. Derek Carr, look how wide open Darren Waller is. There's no fans in the stadium, but they were rocking Derek Carr. I don't know if I've ever seen him with more moxie in his entire career. Le'Veon Bell gets in the game, replacing Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who also had a couple touchdowns. KC takes the lead. This was back and forth, just what we want out of the Sunday nighter. Now 28-24, 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Carr to Nelson Aguilar, who's everywhere for this team. He is so good. Looks like a #1 receiver. He's fantastic. Now, what are you going to do, though? Third and goal, double play action. Who are you looking for? Ruggs, Aguilar, Waller, Witten. Mr. Monday night on Sunday night, a broadcaster catching a touchdown. This is pretty cool. Jason Witten still those all-time soft hands. So now the Raiders have got it going, and Carr, aforementioned moxie. But so much time. So much time for the boogeyman. 31-28. First and 10. That's a little bit of Tyreek, who had a great game, ton of catches. Now we're going to get the other guy involved, the other monster. It's Kelsey. You can feel this one happening in slow motion. It must have been excruciating for Raiders fans. Carr can't even look with the Sith hood over his head. 30 seconds left. Now Mahomes, is he going to run? Is he going to run? Nope. Look how wide open Kelsey is. Done. Look at the reverse angle of this. The Raiders D kind of frees to see Kwiatkowski, their middle linebacker. Oh, is he going to run? And then it's the simple little toss into the laundry basket. And that is pretty much going to do it. Patrick Mahomes. And we got some deep tissue on Andy Reid. We're a little tense. Hey, there's some nice spas in Vegas. Sometimes you go, you get a little deep dish, you get a little win. 35-31, 66 points in a back-and-forth game that was electric. Let's hear from the winners in a really entertaining one. Mahomes and Andy Reid, who says, look, we got Pat Mahomes.
You had to get this one. You wanted to beat your rival. Was there a little extra juice this week?
Yeah, I mean, there was no doubt we wanted to win, and I think the guys came to play. And, I mean, like I said, that's a great football team. That team's beat a lot of good football teams, including ourselves. And we needed everything we had to win this football game.
I've got Pat Mahomes, so I know you give me a minute and a half, and I'm pretty good right there, you know. I'd take him over everybody, and I'm lucky to have him. So as we are as a football team, as we are as a city, and I know we're all proud of him and the way he goes about his business. So. And when you're behind, he can make things happen. I'm proud of the way they handled this. This thing could have easily gone the other way, and it didn't. And it's because they bear down.
Happy to have him, and he's locked up there in Kansas City for a long, long time. Taking a look at the AFC playoff picture to start our show. Here's how it's looking after last night. Chiefs still sitting in that 2 spot. The Raiders are hanging on in the final wild card. Nate, most impressive. This game was so fun. I love this game and this rivalry, which it is a rivalry.
Yeah, it was a great game. The most impressive part was that final drive in overtime. You're sitting here not overtime, in fourth quarter. We're sitting here looking at the Raiders, and Jason Witten catches that ball, and you think this game is over. And then Pat Mahomes just goes down the field with ease. This might have been the easiest drive of the game. And at first I was watching, I'm thinking to myself, why are guys so wide open? It's almost like the Raiders defense had no chance. And what was beautiful about it, they were hitting all of their playmakers. It seemed like everybody touched the ball. Of course, it was Tyreek Hill that was everywhere on the field, and then they ended with Travis Kelce. They strike so fast. I was sitting next to my wife watching this game, and I said, what animal strikes the fastest? Okay. And I spent 5 minutes trying to figure it out. I don't know if it's an alligator coming out the water. I don't know if it's a cobra. I don't know what animal to use. All I know is if you give Pat Mahomes and this offense time, it's a wrap. I was so happy for Jason Witten. I immediately hit the email chain and said, producers, give me Jason Witten. I'm going to show my guy some love. He came out in the draft with me in 2003. And as I'm sitting out this message, I look up, and they're climbing down the field. So for me, this is what makes this team so good, because they can get a lead and keep a lead on you. But more importantly, when it's the winning moments of the game and there's 2 minutes left, they're going to win this game. And they took that from the Raiders. The Raiders played great from the beginning all the way up until that final drive.
75 seconds were left on the clock. When Witten scores that touchdown, you know, they do the probability of win probability. The calculations say Raiders are an 81% chance to win. And I'm like, That's why the numbers don't. You got Mahomes. Like, that's for any other situation. Is there a Mahomes algorithm? Because it's a different algorithm. It's a different factor. And Mahomes, at any point, and you think, you're saying, well, Witten scored, you're hitting it. At any point, did you think they were going to stop the Chiefs' offense there? You knew Mahomes was going to win. I don't know if any athlete has ever had this quality where in the biggest moment, he's not only going to get it done, he's going to get it done and then go the extra level. Because guess what? They were down 3. A field goal would have tied it. And they weren't playing for a field goal. In 75 seconds, they go 80 yards. They leave a ton of time left on the clock before Dan the Man Sorensen ices it. I just find Mahomes so not only great and all this stuff, and his numbers weren't spectacular, but like, he's clutch. He's so clutch. And I don't think it's LeBron. I don't think of any of these baseball pitchers. Everyone's like, Game 7, you want him the ball? Like, no one is as consistently so amazing in these moments with 75 seconds left where you don't even doubt that they're going to win a game, and they do. My last takeaway on it, though, see the playoff picture going into today? Check this playoff picture out one more time, because Kay brought up the screen. Sure. Do you know who would play if the playoffs were tomorrow in that two?
The Chiefs and the Raiders in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. Sign me up. Because the Raiders, and Kyle, you might hit this, the Raiders were awesome last night.
Yeah, but their defensive end was maybe doing their Brian Russell impression. That you knew it was coming. But, what did you learn in the game? I didn't learn anything about the Chiefs. I learned that Mahomes is Morpheus, and sometimes their defense is terrible. I feel like I learned a lot about the Raiders. Oh, yeah. You don't trade bombs with Mahomes. That is a terrible, terrible idea. Just 2 fighters in the middle of the ring. They did. And you know the thing, Peter, you're saying, did you have any confidence that the Raiders D was going to stop them? Do you have any confidence that Derek Carr would not have get stopped if he got the ball back? It was like, remember when Mahomes lost to Brady in the AFC title game, and it was just because the coin toss? I felt like that. I felt like if Carr had one more shot to beat the Chiefs, Derek Carr, who we have not believed in at certain points in his career, would have done it. I learned that the Chiefs are game, that they can go back and forth, or rather the Raiders are game. I've never been more impressed with any game I've seen with this guy coming out of college. Derek Carr was so cool and so calm, and they lost, and we'll get into it, and an L is an L, but I learned last night that the Raiders can hit, and they can trade bombs, and look, if you've never seen the show before, sometimes we get a little subjective with our analysis. I was pulling for the Raiders big time last night. I was crestfallen when that happened, but not surprised.
Are the Raiders their rival, their one rival of record in the NFL?